Just going to give a few thoughts from my point of view about the club and some of my favourite memories and characters in the club and stuff like that. I suppose for me, as a player particularly, the greatest time in the club for me was around the time of winning the junior football, following it up with the Leinster win in 2006, and then really, which I was very pleased with, then the following year going into intermediate, reaching the intermediate final. Unfortunately, Ballerone outmuscled us a bit in that final, but we played really well that year, having come up to intermediate, and personally, beating Portlaoise in the semi-final, scoring a couple of goals, was a real highlight and a nice memory for myself. Just going back to 2006, there was something really special about the Leinster campaign. The home matches were brilliant, really memorable day at home in our own club, winning the Leinster final. But there was also something special about going on the road up to Longford, up to Westmeath, and then even in the All-Ireland semi-final when we were defeated on the road again. But all our supporters, family, everything hitting the road from Rathnesca was really brilliant and a really exciting time. So that's one of my favourite memories in Park Rathnesca. If I was to talk about any characters, I suppose I couldn't pass Liam Brillo Brennan, being to me one of the great hurling men, fanatics about hurling in the club, and a brilliant character. Liam was very good to me when I lived up in Dublin as a student, particularly, and Liam was up as a prison officer in Dublin. He used to collect me in Dublin with a few other fellas, and we'd trip down during the week in Liam's car for training, and the trip down and back was full of stories and jokes and the greatest gallery you could ever have. And but probably one little story of on the pitch activity, we'd won a hurling match around that time on a weekend, maybe a Saturday or a Sunday, and there was a night out after it and all the rest. And the following Tuesday came around, so we were back out training on the pitch, and Liam was suffering probably the effects a bit more than I was of the night after the match, and there was another match then coming in a couple of weeks' time. So anyway, in the wisdom of the coach, when we were playing a bit of a game at the end of the match, or at the end of the training session, I was put in marking Brillo at full forward. So I don't know if it was devilment or deliberately to pull and run Liam around a bit, but anyway, I ran around a bit quicker than Liam did that night. He was still suffering the effects, knocked over a couple of pints. Well, anyway, after about 10 or 15 minutes of this going on, a high ball came in anyway, and before it even had, I'd say, started to drop from the sky, I got this ferocious belt in the back of the head. Decapitation probably is too strong, but enough to land me onto the ground, and a bit of a shoving and giving out and all the rest going on afterwards. So we struck a free pint or whatever it was, and the goalie poked it down the far end of the field. So there was giving out then between myself and Brillo. What the hell were you doing, Brillo? Listen, John, I'm sorry, but the match is coming in 2 weeks' time. I had to do something. You were starting to show me up, and it just, you couldn't but laugh at the determination of the man to be on the team in 2 weeks' time. And the irony of it all was, Liam was 10 times the hurler I ever was, and would be on the team, probably one of the first names listed, and I was on the fringes, maybe a sober, coming on as a sub at that time of my career on the hurling scene. So a gas character, and would do anything for the club, and always got great times out of Liam, as I say, whether it was the madness on the pitch or the gallery that would go on in the car afterwards, or in the pub telling a few jokes or having the crack. So that'll be my scale, as they say. So thanks very much, all the best.